Teacher is loving us because she's saying this is the kind of role that a 21st century teacher needs to play in the classroom. And Tinkervillage is enabling me to truly be a 21st century teacher. We are getting into a future where there's complete uncertainty around jobs. Most of the jobs, unfortunately, are being taken away by AI. So at the core, the school is now asking the questions, what kind of skills should I literally bake into my students so that they have been AI proofed?
A lot of what we are delivering to the school is not just the material, but all the stuff around teacher training is being delivered through technology, and that is going to help us scale what we are building really fast to the entire Indian market. We believe is more than 2,000 crores.
Their parents are directly writing into us saying, my child just did a Tinkervillage activity at school and he's come back home buzzing with curiosity, excitement, and he wants to do more. He just doesn't want to stop at that.
That we all have learned by rote, but we have learned in a very superficial manner. I can speak, I'm an IIT computer science engineer, but I know now that even basic concepts, I have to go back to first principles and try to work them out. I have not retained a depth of understanding that I should have retained.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's podcast. Today we have with us
the founders of Tinkervillage, the first investee company of Eqclique,
Balaji Ramanujam and Pooja Gupta. They're transforming the Indian education system with experiential learning. Welcome Balaji and Pooja. Thank you so much for being here today. It's truly an honor. Let's just dive right in and you guys could talk about Tinkervillage. What is it that you guys are doing? It'll be very helpful for the audience to know.
Sure. So, Namrata, firstly, thank you so much. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to get to talk about what we're not just building with passion, but with a purpose. Tinkervillage is an education startup where Balaji and I are looking at transforming the K-8 education space from a very, very rote learning system to a skill-based education through experiential hands-on learning in the classroom for every child in the class. So that's what Tinkervillage is in essence.
Thank you so much for that, Pooja. So Balaji, if you could elaborate a little bit more, what is it, how is the curriculum like?
Okay. So what we essentially do is we start with the curriculum or textbook that the school uses and that the teacher is very comfortable with. And we help the teacher deliver that curriculum or subject in a very experiential hands-on manner. To do that, what we have to do is to build an activity which the teacher can actually conduct in class, where every child is doing the activity and the teacher becomes more of a facilitator, where she's asking the questions and getting the child to think about what they're doing and arriving at the answer on their own rather than telling them the answer. This is the essence of what we do, and we build this by giving both the materials, detailed lesson plans. We train the teachers and help them be confident so that when the teacher goes into the classroom, she gets a class that is super engaged, where children are buzzing with curiosity and questions, and she walks out as the hero of the class.
So what is the feedback like of especially parents, teachers, kids even?
So, it's kind of, it's been an amazing journey of discovery, because when we started out, the heads of schools and principals were absolutely excited, and they said, this is exactly the future of education. In fact, not the future, this is the present of education. My classrooms have to change from a very rote-based to a real buzzing with experiential hands-on learning. So we were very happy, and we thought, okay, the heads of schools want it that way, but will the teachers even like us? Or will they start hating us for increasing their work? It turns out now, 9 months into the journey, that we are a teacher's favorite. Yeah. The teachers are loving us because they're saying, you know what, you have solved the two biggest problems for me in the classroom. One is that when I'm running an experiential-led classroom, all of the students are completely engaged in the class. Suddenly there is engagement, there is interest, there is better recall to the fundamental science concept. So I have a very engaged classroom. Second thing is, I do not have the issues of indiscipline. Every child wants to participate and be part of the process. So no longer is my time getting wasted in managing the class discipline. And of course, because we give a thorough lesson plan to the teacher, she's saying, I don't have to do much pre-work. It comes in as a complete ready-made end-to-end program and package. And like Balaji said, the program basically entails teacher training. It entails materials and resources for every child in the classroom. It comes with deep video lesson plans for our teachers. And of course, assessment options are also available.
So it's actually so interesting, and I'm very keen to know, what does the program look like?
Okay. So in a nutshell, what we do is we start with the curriculum or the textbook that the school is referring to. In this case, it's Cambridge Primary Science. We pick core concepts around which to build experiential learning activities. Let's take an example. There's a concept around muscles make us move and how muscles work in pairs. We build activities with really high quality tested materials which are safe for kids and exciting for them to use. Children receive this in packs. They build a model based on the activity resources that we have given them. We have the entire lesson mapped out in a structured manner as log sheets where children learn through inquiry, and they build skills like critical thinking, model building, reasoning, etc. as part of the lesson. We deliver the entire training for the teacher on an app platform, which has courses lined up for them to equip themselves on experiential learning. They have support from a community of experts, and they have the ability to build their own experiential learning portfolio and showcase that to others.
That's actually so interesting to learn. So how is Tinkervillage scaling this? How are you guys building this?
Right, perfect. So, so like Balaji just explained, our starting point is literally working with the school's curriculum. Now, one of the examples we just picked up was from a Cambridge textbook, a Cambridge curriculum. Now, the Cambridge curriculum is something which is applicable across to more than 10,000 schools globally, and it's only growing. So when we are talking about building for a Cambridge curriculum, with an activity, with a corresponding log sheet, this is a product that is directly applicable for any teacher who is teaching hands-on science in any of the 10,000 odd Cambridge schools. So literally, we are bringing their own curriculum to life in the classrooms. As an impact, of course, like I was mentioning earlier, a teacher is loving us because she's saying, this is the kind of role that a 21st century teacher needs to play in the classroom. And Tinkervillage is enabling me to truly be a 21st century teacher. I mean, I myself as a teacher, I have been a product of rote learning. I mean, all of us have been. We've all grown up through a very rote learning format. Yeah. She clearly knows that today the students cannot be taught in that same format. Yeah. What got us here cannot get the students there. I mean, we are getting into a future where there's there's complete uncertainty around jobs, right? Most of the jobs, unfortunately, are being taken away by AI. So at the core, the school is now asking the questions, what kind of skills should I, literally bake into my students so that they have been AI proofed? What skills will truly be valuable when they finish the 15-year of their span in a school? And, that is clearly the impact that teachers are seeing, because this is helping them build this is helping them build skills like critical learning, critical thinking, creative thinking, inquiry-based learning, reasoning through a very tangible way. Yeah. So now teachers have an answer of how they are building skills because they have answers and solutions through tangible formats like experiential learning.
So building on what Pooja said, from a business standpoint, we have launched hands-on science as an integrated program with a collection of activities and lessons which are linked to the textbook. We are already working within 9 years of actual operations. We are already working with leading schools across the country, across IB, CBSE, and Cambridge curriculum, including Oberoi International, which is the #1 ranked international IB school. We have a Nahar International, which is a Cambridge ambassador school, and Daly College, which is a heritage CBSE school, which has been around for more than 100 years. So we're working with some leading institutions and building and scaling this, getting feedback on the ground. And we are ready now to take this forward to hundreds and thousands of schools in India with the power of technology. A lot of what we are delivering to the school is not just the material, but all the stuff around teacher training and a community which helps build confidence in teachers to actually build the learning is being delivered through technology. And that is going to help us scale what we are building really fast to, the entire Indian market, which we, from a school standpoint, we believe is, more than 2,000 crores just for the K to 8 skill education space. Now, while we're doing that, we're also working to go directly to parents and build for learning in a curriculum integrated manner at home. Right? So with both of this, we expect that, within the next few years, we'll be able to create a lot more impact with a lot more students and also emerge as, one of the forerunners in this space of transforming education to more hands-on, which leads to distinct and tangible skill building.
So, like you mentioned, most of us have been victims of rote learning, and it hasn't even been that long since, I graduated high school. But rote learning remains to be, it's kind of transitioning now, but it used to be the crux of the education system. So, and especially with the introduction of the new education policy, where is, how does Tinkervillage aim to kind of lead this transition of building skill-based learning?
Absolutely. I think a very, very pertinent question, Namrata. So the good news is that with the introduction of the new education policy, it has laid out the roadmap for CBSE schools across the country. And we're talking about more than 30,000 odd CBSE schools, which have to follow a mandate around experiential hands-on learning. So the education policy lays out the framework that schools have to start transforming themselves from being the traditional typical rote learning to experiential hands-on learning. Now, the obvious question that the CBSE heads of school are saying, this is very good, but how can I go about doing that? And that is exactly where we come in, because we come in with a complete program which empowers the teacher. Now, another very important aspect here is we are not coming in as external experts. Our entire objective is to empower the teacher to lead the revolution in the classroom. So we are not just a STEM-based player who comes in with our set of experts. We are taking the teacher along in this journey. The teacher is being upskilled. The teacher is playing a very, very pivotal role in this revolution. And she's feeling that, wow, I am truly making a difference in the life of my student, because tomorrow when the student passes out, he will remember me for the way I helped him think better in the classroom and not just delivered a lesson out of a textbook. So absolutely. So the education policy has made our job easier. And the CBSE schools are seeing us as the partners, the ones who can handhold them in leading this entire journey of experiential hands-on learning.
Yeah. And beyond, CBSE, the Cambridge board and the IB board, anyway, are driving experiential learning, have been driving experiential learning for a long time. And part of their challenge, especially in a country like India, is that like yourself or me, a lot of the teachers have come from a traditional rote learning system. So where they're seeing us as valuable partners is in upskilling, like Pooja mentioned, upskilling teachers to be able to deliver experiential learning that builds skills and do that across a variety of subjects. See, all in all, while the media may not have caught on to this, there is a revolution that's happening on the ground in the schools. Literally every head of school that we have met, regardless of, the board or the socioeconomic or demographic strata, that the school caters to, everyone wants to see a change. They're feeling the pressure of needing to prepare our students to a future that is extremely uncertain. And, when we came in, so many people told us, oh, the school system, they don't change that fast. Teachers don't upskill. But I know we have to say, we are seeing a completely different picture. We are real optimists in terms of the revolution that our school leaders are leading. And every teacher that we have met and encountered, they are wanting from deep within to actually make a difference, to equip themselves to prepare children better for today. So I think we are seeing that revolution, and we'd ask you all also to go see it and become part of it.
Yeah, and to add to that, I would say our optimism is now backed with strong and clear evidence. When teachers are writing to us personally and saying, this is so impactful, you've just turned my classroom into a space which is buzzing with learning, kids are excited. In fact, we have a bigger problem in hand. And I was like, what's that problem? They're expecting us to deliver every class this way. And they're saying, ma'am, why can't every single class be like this? Why are we only going with few classes which are experiential led? Every class ideally should look like this, because I am so excited about the day when I have an experiential class. So yes, the good news is we are building for programs which offer more length and breadth to the classroom. We are building for a much more exhaustive hands-on science program, and we're not just keeping it limited to science. We're also working on other subjects with experiential hands-on, social studies, math, art integration, and finance and entrepreneurship areas as well.
So, what are the future plans for Tinkervillage? How do you plan to scale this from schools now?
So, the interesting insights that are coming along is that having now launched the program for schools, we are getting inbound interest from parents, where parents are directly writing into us saying, my child just did a Tinkervillage activity at school and he's come back home buzzing with curiosity, excitement, and he wants to do more. He just doesn't want to stop at that. Now, for a parent to hear this is like, even as a parent myself, if my child comes home from school buzzing and even telling me about what happened at school, it's music to my ears. So the parents are writing and saying, can we have an annual program, which I would love to sign up. I could show you what's on the cards. So our B2C Science Annual Foundation program is on the cards, and we are rolling this out from January. Now, this is a product which is, once again, we are staying true to our philosophy, which is curriculum integrated and grade wise. So, if you have a student in an IB curriculum or a Cambridge curriculum or CBSE, and the student could be anywhere on the globe, we are ready to deliver to that. The beauty is that this does not require a live online class. It's a self-paced program. So the student will have lesson plans, video lesson plans, and the child can completely start off at their own pace, facilitated by a parent. And this is the next big thing that we are now looking forward to.
So, Pooja, if you could talk about the big trends that you're seeing in the education space.
Right. So, very relevant to talk about these, because literally these trends have come in as tailwinds in our journey and helping us, propel further. Some of the big trends that we are seeing all across is, I think, number one, overall, there is a lot of emphasis on skill-based learning. The good news is that this is being driven centrally by the government, and the policy makers are actively getting into the space of and encouraging entrepreneurs who are involved in the space of skill building. The good news for entrepreneurs like us is that the skill building segment is moving more downwards. So it's not just at a college level. People are not just questioning कि college level पे क्या skills build हो रही हैं, but they're seriously questioning how the schools are building skills in our children today. And I'm personally very glad when the government bodies and the government agencies are asking such questions. So clearly skill building is moving down. It's starting them. It's like start them early. And there is a lot of media and, a lot of talk around skill building overall. That's one big trend. The second thing that we've seen is that without doubt, post-COVID, the mindsets of schools have changed dramatically. And this is only good news for us, because the heads of schools are absolutely ready to embrace progressive methods of learning like hands-on experiential. So today we are in a position where we have inbound interest. The schools are reaching out saying, hey, I discovered that you're offering the program to another school in the city. Even I would like to know more about it. Post-COVID, the mindsets have definitely changed. And we're in a happy space due to that. And the third big trend that we are witnessing is that EdTech as a sector is moving from being a very online play to being a very offline interaction now. Both parents as well as learners as well as the classrooms want to have a very offline interaction, a very experiential hands-on based learning. And the good news is that the teacher is at the center of it all, because somewhere down the line the teachers had started feeling that maybe they're not a part of the learning revolution that is taking place. Maybe EdTech is taking that away from them. Our entire goal is to put the teacher truly back at the heart and center of this revolution. No AI, no amount of AI can replace the teacher. And we are here with the objective of empowering the teacher to deliver the 21st century learning in the classroom. The teacher should feel that, she's a hero in the class and she is irreplaceable. So this is a third big trend that, we see coming along, and we're completely, building for that space.
Okay, and what does this look like, in the global scenario?
I mean, what we're seeing is an outcome of trends happening globally. I mean, the real trend has been that over the last 5-10 years, technology, the rise of AI has led to a change in the structure of jobs. So the skills that are needed for jobs of tomorrow have changed much faster than the education system can actually deliver the knowledge and the skills to get children ready. So that big shift is global. And we are playing square in the middle of that shift. And whatever, like Pooja also mentioned earlier, whatever we are building right now can be used and replicated for any curriculum in the world. Because at the end of the day, a Cambridge curriculum textbook that is being taught here is the same textbook or curriculum that's being taught across the world. If you take IB as a global board, it is the same, framework that travels across the world. And even if you take curriculums in the US, for example, at the core, we map all our content to the best standards, like example, next generation science standards in the US. So what we're building can even go to the US public school system and can be integrated very easily into that. So we are playing squarely in this global shift, and what we are building, we hope, will become an India to the global story as we start scaling India.
That's great. And we at Eqclique also cannot wait for it to launch. It's absolutely brilliant. Actually, one of the most pertinent questions in my head is what actually made you get into, experiential learning? What made you start Tinkervillage?
So interesting you asked that. So literally the core message behind the entire name, Tinkervillage, firstly the word village, and there's a lot of emphasis on that, is because we as parents to two boys, are believers that it takes a village to raise a child. It's not the job of just one person or two people around. It literally takes a whole, efforts from a whole host of people which come together to form that village around the child. Now, having said that, when we saw the inspiration behind this entire journey has been when we saw our older one, when he was 3 years old, today of course he's a teenager, when we saw him, how he was learning, when he got hands-on, he was filled with not just questions, but also lots of ideas around it. So we realized, if children can learn with such amazing curiosity, imagination, and creativity when they get hands-on, why should we just limit their learning to just a textbook? So that literally got us into the journey of education, which we started 10 years back when we were still based out of Singapore. Our journey led us to becoming partners with various institutions like Singapore Science Center. Life got us back to India. We both went and worked in different edtech companies. And then we realized that the core problem still remains unsolved, which is that children in the classrooms are spending 7 to 8 hours. And if we can make an impact there, we have truly then started the journey of transforming education from rote-based to a skill-based learning methodology.
Yeah, just adding on to that, while our inspiration is our older one, and now we have two, our younger one too. I think during this journey, at least we have come to understand that we all have learned by rote, but we have learned in a very superficial manner. Right? And I can speak when I am an IIT computer science engineer, but I know now that even basic concepts, I have to go back to first principles and try to work them out. I have not retained a depth of understanding that I should have retained. And when I see even little children in classes learn with their hands through these kind of activities, we have teachers feeding back to us 6 months later saying, actually, my learners have remembered that concept in a much deeper manner. And we see that through our children, right? And we're seeing that in classes as well. So I think our inspiration, while it started off with, Siddharth and Vedant, our children, right now it is really an understanding that, wow, we don't know so much, right? So every day when we come and work and we build activities, we're all learning. We're like kids now. We're like 5th graders and 3rd graders who are like figuring out how actually the world works by building stuff with our hands.
That's great. So before we end this podcast today, I just want to understand, why did you choose us? Why is it such a perfect blend? Why is Tinkervillage and Eqclique such a perfect blend?
Actually, Eqclique, you guys come from not just a financial investor background. You come from a heritage of Equalify, which has been a pioneer in the space of finance education for professionals. So there's education in the DNA, and in our interactions with Aditya and the team, we sense it every day. There's a passion for education. There is a respect for education, and there is an understanding of how education businesses need to be built. So that's very invaluable. The second area is the networks and the impact that Equalify, Provexes, Eqclique have already created in the space of business and finance is going to be very useful for us, because we anticipate that Tinkervillage and the Eqclique family will collaborate in building some of the hands-on education, skill-based education, especially in the areas of financial literacy, business, and entrepreneurship as we go along. So, you're not just an investor to us, but you're a partner with whom we look forward to building and growing together.
I absolutely agree. And thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you, Balaji, so much for being here today. It's truly been an honor in, hearing about your journeys with Tinkervillage, your life story. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Namrata, for having both of us here. We've had a lot of fun chatting and talking about this journey, which, like I said, is not just a passion, it's a purpose.
And thank you. We enjoyed ourselves. And thank you to all of you who are viewing this podcast. It truly takes a village to raise a child. And if you're interested in connecting with us and helping us build that village together, we would welcome you on board.